All right. Here we are. It's another beautiful day. Episode 3 here of the World of Warcraft Completionist Challenge. Whoa, camera. Get out of the way, Sentinel. We are here with Iridal Ren to start. And last time on this episode, we went from like around the 50% mark in Teldrassil to 77.9%. We did this through a couple of different things. The first of those is the work we put in on completing all of the quests, except for one. The Sprouted Fronds, and we'll get to that. Mistakes were made. The next thing we did was we farmed for this beautiful staff on our back here. This is called the Driftwood Branch. It has a low drop rate from our friends up here, some Elder Elementals. We farmed that. We were actually very fortunate. It didn't take us too long to get that to drop. And in that process, we also got this rare Battle Chain Cloak that we haven't really been able to find an estimated cost of, because there's not really anything posted on the auction house related to it, though it apparently is a very low drop rate from pretty much every mob around this level or this type of zone. But it does look beautiful, so we're going to wear it. So what is on our mission today? Our goal is to complete this zone and work towards going to Darkshore. We've already talked about on previous episodes how really the only zone that I consider to be legitimately connected to Teldrassil is Darkshore, and the reason for that is because there used to be a boat, there's not a boat anymore, now it's a portal to Stormwind, and if we do utilize what's available to us in the game at present, that portal to Stormwind will just send us back to Elwynn Forest. And I think a lot of these challenges start in Elwynn Forest. A lot of people interact regularly with Elwynn Forest, and they're so familiar and comfortable with it that I don't think there's as much new there to explore. Darkshore, on the other hand, being in Kalimdor, only really being associated with Night Elves, and anyone in the Draenei, obviously, doesn't get that same amount of attention and love early on in series like this. And so other series that may start in Stormwind as the main hub of the Alliance will obviously have a better time with interacting with that space and make more sense from a viewer's perspective to be there. But you guys may have already seen that, and I have already seen it 100 times. So we will get to Elwynn Forest. We will get to explore that area at some point. But for right now, we're really just going to try to enjoy where we are at the moment here. So to start, what are we working on? We're going to discuss the Sprouted Fronds. We're going to try to farm the Gnarlpine Legs and the Keen Machete. And we are going to work through some of these potential quests that may honestly be able for us to complete. We have gotten the toad already. I don't know why it's on here like this, so we're going to ignore that. And then we also have these two fishing recipes. One of these is already in our bag, we just can't equip it. That is the Sagefish Delight, and Rainbowfin Albacore is on the edge of the zone down near Rutharen Village. So first, let's talk about Sprouted Fronds. Sprouted Fronds, and we'll run that direction. Sprouted Fronds is a quest. You see this tree deep here in the distance. These trees are around this zone. You can interact with them when you get close, and they will give you a quest to turn in basically a sample of the tree to our friend down here, who is exploring the corruption via the nature that you can find. So the herbs, the timberlings, all the other things that are nature adjacent. He is exploring the world and the corruption of this tree, utilizing those different venues, right? So he's a scientist. I think his name's Dolinar or Dolanin or Delanin, there we go. So Delanin's down here, right? And we appreciate Delanin and all of his hard work, of course. Why wouldn't we? But because Delanin is down here, he has this box. And when you turn in the tree that you can find somewhere around up here to Delanin, these fronds, which you can see here in the picture, very, very high resolution weed spinning around in a circle. When you turn this into him, these fronds spawn in the box. And if you're not paying attention, if you go back and watch episode 2, you'll see it. You won't see the frond spawn because I turn around so quickly. I basically do this, oh okay, and move on. I unfortunately missed the fronds. So if we can't figure out how to get these fronds to spawn, because they may be possible, according to Wowhead, they may be possible for me to get them if someone else turns them in. I may have to try to do it on my alt, which last episode I experienced a lot of frustration trying to get my alt here. I did figure that out off stream, so we don't have to go through that journey again. But point being, we want the fronds. We want the full quest completion. That is our goal, full quest completion. So to start, we're going to do a quick little run of looking for the rares. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people in this zone right now, so I'm hoping that both the rares are up and we can try to get a shot at the Gnarlpine Legs and the Key Machete, so we can move forward with those 2 items. And then, once they're killed, we have about a 30-minute respawn window. So what we're going to do in that time is we're going to go down to Root Theron Village. We're going to pick up the recipe that we are missing, and potentially accomplish this weird quest in Darnassus that's technically connected to the zone that we're not really sure. This Karasang Wilds quest. We believe that it's possible for us to take advantage of it, but we're not entirely positive. So, we should find our friend Urusan up here. There he is, in the black. We're going to give him a quick kill, and hopefully he will have our pants for us. Please drop our pants. Now, sources claim that these pants do have a very low drop rate, which is not ideal. I'd prefer there to be a higher drop rate on the pants, but alas, here we are. Low drop rate on the pants. But now, for some reason, our kill counter is not on, because that will help us track when he will be respawning, so we don't miss a respawn. What are my concerns with today's mission? My concerns with today's mission are that the machete and the pants spend a lot of time not dropping. And we are stuck dancing back and forth between these 2 zones, these 2 areas of Teldrassil, without much else to do other than kill the mobs in the area and hope for some random white, maybe green drops. And we just have to be patient on the kill percentages, which this really could be what happens here. We were very fortunate in that the staff dropped as quickly as it did, but we're unfortunate in that we don't have that farm to fall back on in the meantime between these respawns. And that makes this process just a little bit more boring for myself and for you guys. But the good news is we have good company. Once we have good company, we will be able to get through this in a positive way. I think I just completely DC'd. Here we go. We're going. We're buzzing here. I don't know what just happened. Aisha, cool, man. Join up. Join up. Let's have some fun here. Get yourself a character and let's grind. Okay, so what's our mission again? We did skip a little bit here on the mission side of things. Our mission with this journey is to reconnect with our love of the game that we've been playing since 2007. There's a lot of love and appreciation for the art that is this game. I've played a ton of classic Private servers, taking hiatuses from retail, played a lot of retail. Haven't really played a lot since Dragonflight, although I did play a little in War Within. And now, here we are, back on retail, trying to rekindle that love, rekindle that appreciation, and find ways to just enjoy the littler, simpler, high-effort things that it feels like the artists and designers of this game have put into it throughout the many, many years of its existence, 22 years now. There's a lot of love and care there, and we just want to appreciate the little things for now. So that's what we're focusing on. Let's see what else we need to do to make this happen here. So I also figured out something else very fun and exciting, because I did go down the rabbit hole a little bit here. The holiday thing, which I'm an idiot that I didn't realize this before, is related to the Lunar Festival. Okay? So the Coin of Ancestry trigger on Bladeleaf the Elder, who is in Teldrassil, because this is a drop from him, from this quest, the game associates those coins with an objective within the zone. Or sorry, not the game. All the things, the add-on, associates this coin with all the things that this coin is capable of doing. So you can see on here that the 50 coins of anniversary achievement, the 25 coins, some fireworks that we have not collected, the lunar dress, all of these items are all part of the 100%ing the Lunar Festival in association with Bladeleaf the Elder. Now you might be asking me, what am I going to do about it? That's a great question. I'm just going to do it. I think that there's enough here. Like 50 coins of ancestry is not really hard to get. The festival land, these requirement items right here are not a lot to ask for. It's the 50 coins, and that's pretty much it. And so I think that's worth exploring. If we're going to try to do a completionist challenge, then the holidays are going to be part of that. However, the holidays are pretty boring. I've heard that Lunar Festival takes only about 3 to 5 hours. So I'm not going to make it a core part of the stream or something that I do all the time. I might do it on the side. I might do it for 20 minutes in the middle of a zone. Like, for example, here, if we get stuck in this loop back and forth between the two guys, then I might just run off and start doing some Lunar Festival in between. The downside to that is that we're kind of locked into the Lunar Festival stuff outside of our loop of these rare spawns once we get to Eastern Kingdoms. And so my goal and my thought process is to accomplish the tasks on another character and hopefully get these achievements crossed off without having to do it here.
The fish off the coast of Teldrassil.
So here is our friend, the Rainbow Fin Albacore. We have not gotten this before. We're going to hear this beautiful sound for the first time tonight. Boom. There we go. We also got, we actually replaced our Druidic Vest for the first time ever. So that's a big upgrade. Our Druid's Tunic, my bad. And we also got ourselves a Savory Delight. So, Delight. So we get to be a pirate for the first time. Huge news. We're now a pirate. Yar. Here we go. So, we've got about 4 minutes in to Threll Grill and 7 into Urusan, so we've got about 20-25 minutes left on his respawn. I also want to retry the squirrel and deer loves here, because really we should have them, and the achievement says we've done them, but it would be nice to just have them crossed off the list so we didn't have to keep staring at it all the time. It's just not fun for anyone. So the squirrels and deers all spawn around here, and we will give them a good quick love. Pray to us. Pray for us. Not pray to us. We're not gods. Pray for us. We got the toads. Toads are done. We can't catch the toad, but we can love the toad. And there's the squirrel. And every time I've had to do this, I have had to shift click to refresh, and the deer never works. So, whatever. We try our best. That's all we can do. Okay, so I figure I'll do one more loop here on these rares, and then I'm going to try to log into our Demon Hunter real quick to fix that issue. And since we're talking about it, the Demon Hunter issue, last stream, the challenge that I ran into was I could not get into the portal from Stormwind to Darnassus. The portal master was there, but the portal was not, and I couldn't understand why. And what I've learned is that the portal is only visible in certain versions of Chromie Time. And this is a system that I have not really interacted with a ton, so learning moment for me. Chromie Time allows you to see the world as it was at various instances in the game's history. And when you select Shadowlands, seeing the world as, then that's how you will see the world as. Which means Teldrassil is burned. The lore of this zone being the tree that was planted in order for the Night Elves to try to reclaim their immortality after the sacrificing of their old tree, the World Tree, Nordrassil, I think that's the name. They plant Teldrassil, it grows into this. I mean, we're literally walking on a tree right now. It's incredibly cool. They plant the World Tree, it grows, but they don't get their immortality back. So they have an identity crisis, they don't know what to do. All they want to do is figure out how to get their immortality back. However, some of them, and many of them, have come to, rethink that thought process. But at the time of the first original World of Warcraft, that's what's going on. In Cataclysm, Malfurion returns. He's their leader. He's the first druid. Very powerful, well connected with nature. We looked at him in our last stream. He's got weird nipple rings. They're actually on his beard, but they look like they're on his nipples. It's a whole thing. The man is half creature at this point. He's got antlers, and they might be on his head. They might be part of his head. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Point being, he's incredibly powerful and very interesting. He returns. They're trying to reconnect with the tree. The corruption that we have had to deal with over the last 2 episodes is being investigated for cure. And bada bing, bada boom. Down the road, and we'll get to this eventually, the Dark Lady Sylvanas Windrunner, Banshee Queen of the Forsaken, Leader of the Undead, whatever you want to call her whatever you want, she decides to burn down this tree as a big get bent Night Elves. And that kind of works. I mean, if my home was burnt down and my home was a giant tree, which is freaking awesome, by the way, I'd be pretty pissed too. So here we are on the tree that's not burned down because when we start the game, we selected to be here, and the game put us in Cataclysm Time, which is the oldest version of the original world that still exists and is accessible to us as players. We don't have access to the original world that you would have quested through in 2004 or 2007 or whatever expansion you joined up until Cataclysm's release. So, on my Demon Hunter, I know this is a long-winded story we're going on here, but stick with me, I promise. There's an end to it. On the Demon Hunter, I have to talk to Chromie, adjust my time to Cataclysm, and the portal reappears. As it should have been there the whole time. But it was not.
The wise and the lucky
so here we are.
And find truth.
So we got a coin of Ancestry. We did talk to the Blade Leaf the Elder, and you can see this went from 4 out of 29 to 5 out of 29. Not ideal. Why this quest has changed itself from what it was before to quest number 32416. I don't know. It says my warband has previously completed this. Something tells me I don't trust it. Let's go check and see if there are fronds from any players in the area. And then we will run over to Urasan. We've got about 15 minutes to see what's going on there. The other thing I discovered, which I think is an important discovery, since we had a lot of frustration last stream with me not understanding things, which, if you're along for this journey with me, just get used to it, because it's going to be a common thing, is understanding why the holiday tab kept popping up on my all the things. I could not fathom why all the things would have this interrupting my completionist challenge. How rude of it, right? Did that even loot? I don't think that looted. It didn't. I also don't have this, but it's not really that important. Okay, so nothing here. Also, let's get rid of this pirate, because truthfully I'd prefer to be a cap. So anyway, I didn't understand why the holidays are here. And you can see this little note in the settings. Again, I'm a man of my word. I'm transparent here. I need to figure out how to get to the settings without screwing anything up. You can see on the settings when you mouse over all the seasonal events, which I had deactivated, it says enable this setting to show all seasonal events instead of currently active season events. My dumbass took that to mean, which to be fair, I don't even think I read it. My dumbass took that to mean if you deactivate this toggle, seasonal events will not be considered. Wrong. If you unclick that toggle, seasonal events that are not currently active will not be toggled. You will still be expected, as part of this, to review the seasonal events. So, here we are with the seasonal event in front of us, bothering our completionist challenge, interrupting our goals. We don't like it, but it is what it is. And so, as a last-ditch effort to success and victory, we will interact with the holiday events. Now, if you think for a second that I'm going to go hard on holiday events every time they come out, I'm going to honestly have to do it, actually, because it's part of the challenge. But it's not something I'm going to be happy about. I don't necessarily love the holiday events, like, and I just phased. So that's going to screw up our kill counts, and I don't know what caused me to phase right there, but our timer is going to be all whack. But what it might do is respawn him. It didn't. Yikes. And there's a person here. Damn it! That is not good. I didn't even think about the fact that we could get phased at some point. I wonder if this guy can help us. He's level 6. He's got a long way to go before he gets to the part that we're going to be on, but maybe we can ask in chat if anyone is getting... Anyone doing sprouted fronds? And if someone is turning in something, then maybe we can take advantage of that. Seriously? The spider just knocked me off my thing. If we can get someone who is doing sprouted fronds, then that would be a really big help, actually. Because we can guarantee that we'll get the quest done if they're going to turn it in. I'm just not in love with the fact that we just got botched out of our... potentially out of our respawn timers by changing layers. We were on a layer with no one. I mean, we've been running around this whole time with not another soul here, so like I understand why we got layered, but I'm certainly not happy about it, I'll tell you that. And I have most definitely loved a deer. Like, if you don't believe me, just look at this. Here it is. That's not the one. What one is it? To all the scrolls I loved before. It says deer. Right here. Right there. It says deer. Please do not kill the rare if he's here. I don't want you to do that. He's not here. He may be dead. He may have been long dead actually. I don't know. We don't have a respawn on him now. Very frustrating. Lots more people here now. Which is fun. I mean, I'm glad that we're sharing the world with people, but I hope they're enjoying themselves. Maybe we'll get some assistance in completing what we're trying to complete. I'm going to go off the assumption that these things are going to respawn at the right time and we're going to be okay. Even though I know that's probably not the case. There's also this quest right here, which is technically a Darnassus quest. And it looks like it appears to be a fishing quest. But that's worth considering completing, in my opinion. And then Elwyn Forest and Duratar, I'm not really too worried about the remote zone stuff. But we already have completed this Sagefish Delight. We have it in our bags. So you can see we really don't have a lot of tasks remaining in this zone. And that's really exciting. And I'll say so far I've enjoyed this zone. I think the vibes are really good. The music is great. I love I like that they didn't have to modify the story of this zone very much to modernize it and continue to make it engaging. To go from what they've done in the past to having this zone, be an exploration of your connection with nature and understanding the corruption of the tree and the furbolgs, to doing that same thing again with just a little bit more depth. Switching it from, we don't really fully understand why everything is poisoned, but it is, and we're upset about it, and we're going to fight back against it, to a quest really about understanding nature and where corruption comes from. And it's interesting that the outcome of that story is not some big, grand evil, but the tree itself. The tree itself is trying to heal itself. It's like pushing out the infection from within, and that's what this corruption is on the surface. It's the tree pushing out the corruption of a wound, bringing it back, unintentionally, basically, bringing that corruption onto its surface by cleansing it from within itself. And I think that's a really cool concept. I think a lot of times in games we get stuck on some big bad evil, and even though there is a big monster that you technically do kill, in this situation, that monster is more of a force of nature as a consequence of this cleansing process that the tree is going through, not some type of evil, corrupting, mad scientist that is doing it to cause problems. So we'll take the extra energy. That could be useful. We're hoping we get a spawn on our friend Urusan, but it does not appear to be the case here. We still have about 9 minutes on the trigger, so we'll continue to cycle around, and then we will switch over to our Demon Hunter to try to complete the Savage Frond, or the Sprouted Fronds quest, and hopefully get credit on this character. I'm really worried that the credit will not carry over, and we will be stuck having to figure out what we're going to do about that. Feline Adept. Soothe, Remove Corruption, and Innervate are usable in cat form. Now, what we need to figure out is how do we get Moonfire to be usable in cat form, because that's the real stuff we want to know what to do. Because we want to be able to tag and pull, all while running around super fast. I am feeling a little more tired today than normal. I don't have my usual energy. It's been a long day. Hopefully everyone's had a good day of work and has come home and is attempting to relax. Very important to do that. I love the tree model. Look at that beard. Mustache and beard he's got. The other thing I was thinking about is what I'm going to do about transmog. We could transmog anything we want at any time, really, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to keep what we have on, and if we get one of our rare drops, like these Gnarlpine legs, we're just going to wear them until we get a replacement for them. That could come in the form of a random green drop that we get, Bard's Trousers of the Monkey. Or that could come from a farmed item from one of these rares that we're trying to interact with. So there's definitely a lot of flexibility, but I think it's cool. It's going to be a cool visual experience for us to see our character evolve episode by episode with items that we are finding that are important to us, that we have an emotional attachment with. I mean, it's not life-changing by any stretch of the imagination, but the Gnarlpine branch was like a cool thing that happened. So to celebrate that and to wear it, and even if it's not the best in slot item, it's going to increase our damage. Eventually we're going to get to a point with these quests and interacting with this world that it's not going to scale with us anymore, and we're going to do a lot of damage to it. And rather than go the route of trying to limit myself, I have seen some people on challenges similar to this. They try to limit themselves to a specific level so that it keeps the content relevant. But then when you go into dungeons, what are you going to do about the dungeons and then legacy loot and all that stuff? It just doesn't seem like the right route to go. So I'm going to keep myself leveling. I'm going to get my character to where it needs to be, or where the game naturally takes it as a result of the leveling. And then once we hit max level, then we'll just have the perks that come along with that level. But our gear will remain as part of this journey, something that is going to grow right alongside us. And maybe this guy's turning in that quest that we need turned in. Fingers crossed. Please? Doesn't appear to be the case. Let's see. Do you need sprouted fronds? I can't be the only one who's done this, Like, that's really just what I'm thinking. And Urusan is about to be up. He has no idea what I'm talking about. Well, again, this is part of the reason we go on this journey, right? Is like sprouted fronds. I would have never, in a million years, I would have never thought anything like about sprouted fronds. I would know nothing about sprouted fronds. Why would I know anything about sprouted fronds? It's just a random quest on a random day that you just randomly get. You just pick it up when someone turns it in. But, now, here I am, my arch enemy, myself, created a problem for me in completing this challenge. And if I get locked out of it as a result, then, that's just what's going to happen. We're just going to have to start from square one, guys. Maybe we'll pick a different race or something. Maybe we'll go, Worgen Druid or something like that. But, or maybe we'll just level the rogue from where the rogue is at. Either way, here we are in a situation where I may have screwed myself because I don't pay attention when I turn in quests. And am I going to make that mistake again? Abso-freaking-lutely I'm going to make that mistake again. Am I going to try not to make that mistake again? Yes. And hopefully, some of y'all will remind me. That would be nice. You can remind me to not make that same mistake. I believe he's going to be spawning soon if our timers are correct. And hopefully we'll be able to get another kill here and see some legs drop. There's also an add-on that I wanted to explore that I have not explored yet. And I think I'm actually going to look that up while we have the 3 minutes here. That counts the amount of times you kill an enemy. And I think that would be very fun for us to track how many times we kill some of these guys. And then, if we're really feeling froggy, we can associate some kind of challenge or some kind of reward or something to the over-unders on those kills. I mean, if something is claimed by Wowhead to be a 1.3% drop rate, and it drops in less than or greater than that amount, then there could be some kind of fun activities that we do in association with that. Certainly nothing too crazy, but maybe. Depends on our mood, depends on the day. We're going to have fun with it. That's what this challenge is all about. Keeping the game fun, learning new things, challenging ourselves not in the like APM and like difficulty mode kind of way, but just challenging ourselves to see the little things every time. Look at these guys. They want to fight so bad. And you really got to admire it. They're just corrupt gnarlpines, living their best life, and we're just out here ruining it. The mysterious satchel. Gloves. Okay. I'm hoping to get away from these satchel drops. We really haven't gotten a lot of satchel drops, or we haven't gotten a lot of other drops that are not satchel drops that we can lean on for our gear. But I'll tell you right now, the second I get something to replace this helmet, I'm doing it. I cannot stand this helmet. I look like a kobold. Like, look at me. You guys see this? I have a candle on my head. And like I'm wearing a bucket hat. Who let me do that? I'm not happy about it. So, hopefully we'll get a replacement soon. We also should hopefully get a respawn from Uruzan soon, because that's the way this works. Now the other thing is, I'm not really like aware of when I phase unless I'm doing something. The only reason I caught it that time was because I was in combat with something else, and it like disappeared. But like normally, I can't imagine I'm just gonna spot the phase while I'm just running around. I mean, that's kind of their goal, right? Is that it just kind of happens naturally without you being able to tell. And that's gonna ruin our timers, because he should be respawning here any second. Let's see what the internet has to say on this. How to track number of kills on a mob in WoW. Kill tracker. That's the add-on. It's that simple. It's really the most basic name you've ever had in your entire life. Mob kill tracker or kill track. Which one's more popular? Probably kill track. That looks to be the one. And maybe he spawns up here. Maybe we're missing his spawn. But I'm pretty sure he spawns down by the end. Lots of updates for retail right now. Okay. Still has not spawned, but that's not the end of the world. He's got to be close. That's the downside, is when we phased, it was another zone with a lot of other players. So they could have killed him during that time. And that would give us another 7 to 8 minutes on the tracker, which we don't love, because it's already a pain in the butt to do this. And who wants to raid around all day for a mob? Not me. I got better things to do. But once this spawns and we kill it, we'll do one more set of kills, and then we're going to go test out the Sprouted Fronds quest. I think... Wait, there's 2 Delenins that you turn this quest into? Where's Wellspring Hovel, guys? This must be Wellspring Hovel. So that's good to note. Oh, interesting. So we should turn it in. We should turn it in and then log out and then log back in. Okay, sorry. I was just reading that and what it was saying. So essentially what it recommended for us to do is do it on another character, log out of that character, log right back into this character, and then pick up and collect it. Now, the problem is, from this little detail here, we don't know when this note was created, because we also don't know what phase we're going to respawn back into when we log into our character. Yes, we're on Area 52. Yes, we're on Alliance. But does that mean that we are going to spawn right next to where our previous character was when we started the journey? I don't know. The other question that we need to ask ourselves here, and just in terms of likeliness, is if the quest for Sprouted Fronds allows for people to turn it in closer to the start of the quest, which is up here, and the turn-in zone is possible to be right here, then the issue we're going to run into is having a random, a guest, an NPC human being that's around us. The chances of that occurring for us to be able to get the fronds to spawn external to us will be much reduced. We will be at risk for no one ever doing it, because the chances that a normal human being that's not paying attention or not on a challenge like this to do the opposite of what I did myself is not very high. People will be like, oh, quest objective says to go here. I'm going to complete the quest. The second part of the quest will not spawn, and they will be in the same boat that I am, trying to figure out what to do with the Sprouted Frond. So, if I have never said frond this much in my entire life in one day, but here I am, sprouting off about fronds. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. But super exciting that we're doing that. Rusty hatchet collected already. Damn. The next step in this is I have downloaded the kill tracker. So the next step here is to reload real quick while we wait for this to respawn. So let's talk about the gnarl pines real quick while we're doing this. The gnarl pines themselves are former allies of the Night Elves. They fought with the Night Elves against the demons in the First War. And they are longtime allies. There are allied furbolgs. They're still friendly across the world, but the furbolgs on Teldrassil themselves have unfortunately been corrupted. So, while they are cute and bear-like and shamanistic and tribal and pretty wholesome for the most part, I would say, they are themselves not that wholesome when corrupted. They are pretty ferocious. So, that is the ones that we are killing here, is these gnarl pines. We're not in love with the idea of having to kill these poor bear creatures over and over and over again, but unfortunately for them, their leader Urson has our pants. And nothing is going to get in the way of me and my pants. I hate to say it, but that's just the way the world works. I'm really interested in this, like this rejuvenate animation is incredibly beautiful. But, no change to Mark of the Wild, right? Always the same. Trying to think through... Ah! These are some of the things that we've killed recently. Wait, this is Silver Dragon. I'm an idiot. This will give us our kill counts on these guys. Urosan we've killed 5 minutes ago. $37 ago. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Is Kill Tracker in our add-ons, or is that a reload one? Relog one. Kill track is right here. It's incompatible. I don't know how it's incompatible. But we'll just turn it off if that's the case. Didn't realize it was gonna cause a problem. My bad, brother. Thank you for throwing me forward now that we've reloaded from that. I'm just telling you, this is just so crazy to me that this thing is not spawned again, all because of that phase. So I also got this add-on called Collection Log. And it's supposed to be like a cool little like journey related item here. You can see gore-stained garbs. I don't know why this is showing me this. This is my latest collected item. It says I haven't collected it. I wonder why it says that. But if we go into an item like Dead Mines, for example, we've only completed 15 of the 25 items. Why it doesn't show me what those items are, I'm not entirely sure. But it will tell us what we have and haven't completed. Now, obviously, all the things will do the same thing for us, but this layout is very reminiscent of like an old school RuneScape type vibe, where you can see like everything kind of laid out for you. So hopefully that just makes it a little bit more fun and exciting. I'm just kind of exploring and experimenting with different add-ons and tools that will facilitate our process here. Do we have Loot Appraiser? Somewhere. So we're now sitting at 39 minutes on the respawn for Urusan. Not what we want to see. This is a very long and slow respawn. Plenty of time for him to respawn and for us to see what I mean. I feel like we're phasing in and out. I just don't like it. Plenty of time for us to log over to the Demon Hunter between when this guy respawns and we kill him and the next time we do it. And that will allow us to complete this quest and hopefully get the completion that we needed here. Oh! So this item can't be that rare if we just got another one. That is incredibly interesting that we just got another one. It only shares an appearance with the Wind Water Cloak, which I don't know where the Wind Water Cloak spawns from. It could be any class. It doesn't have to be filtered. Did I say Wind Water? Why does that not show up? Is it 2 words? It's 1 word. Interesting. There's no guidance here on where this thing drops. Let's look it up. Wind Water Cloak. Of course, it comes up with a resistant cloak. Like a rain-resistant cloak from real life. The Shattering. So it was added in Cataclysm. It is a reward from a Winter Spring quest. Is it a Winter Water? It is a Winter Water Cloak, not a Wind Water Cloak. There it is. It is a quest in... Interesting. This is a quest that was added in Cataclysm into Winter Spring. And it is the only other way to get this appearance is this quest. So that's probably why this doesn't sell for a ton of money, because if you want this appearance, you can just go do a quest real quick. Well, we don't know how much it sells for because we've never seen it on the auction house, to be honest. But it is interesting that that is a quest that you're capable of completing. And back in the day, you could not transmog... There he is. Back in the day, you could not transmogrify this because it was a white item. They didn't add that until later. So we are here with a rare appearance. We've gotten it twice. I guess anything that is spawnable via quest is not really that rare. But it is very interesting that it is a thing. Okay, so Urusan, another kill down. We're at number 6 for him. potentially 94 more to go with Urasan. So, don't love that. But we'll log out real quick after we do the quick run up to check on Themagog. We'll get his kill completed and go from there. And once his kill is done, we should hopefully be able to quickly log over to the Demon Hunter, and from there complete the quest. Now, one of two things is going to happen when we do that. We're either going to, one, get credit for the quest on the Demon Hunter, and it's going to mark the quest completed for this character. Two, we're going to get the quest completed on the Demon Hunter, but it's not going to mark for this character. Three, we're going to get the quest completed for the Demon Hunter, relog over to this character quick enough, and then be able to get credit for it on himself. Or, last but certainly not least, we are going to complete the quest on the Demon Hunter, not get credit on this character, and then unfortunately, when we log over, the fronds that we spawn as a result of talking to the guy will not carry over when this character logs back in. So, this is going to be a series of unfortunate events, or a series of incredibly fortunate events, and you guys are going to have to join me for it. So, let's see what we can get here. The music is getting sleepy right now. We don't want that. You're gonna have to get it a little bit less sleepy. Sorry. Oh, look at that moth. You guys see that moth mount? That moth mount looks pretty clean. This guy's just leveling up. Okay. Here we are once again. Lake Alameth. Let's confirm before we do anything. It says here, do not turn in the quest to Wellspring Hovel, but turn it into Delanin at the east. Oh my god, guys! Holy shit! There we go!
The Franz Denelan planted
Let's
in his garden have
go!
and grown. They tremble, eager to be picked.
There is no need to dance or sing between this character and the Demon Hunter. Some glorious soul, Shrimbo from Thrall. Let him know. Let him know what he's done for us. Because he's just saved us from a very, very potentially compromising position. Okay. Up next, Karasang Wilds campaign. We are going to Darnassus, I believe. Take the portal from Darnassus to Dalaran. I don't know where this quest is. Shit. There's a quest in Darnassus that allows us to do this. Doesn't have a name, maybe. Look how close we are, guys. Just first of all, we know the deer's broken because we've done the deer already. We know the deer's broken. We've done the deer. We're at 79%, and most of the items on this list are in the holiday event. Like, what are we doing? What kind of games are we playing here? The other thing I was able to filter out that I haven't mentioned because I actually forgot about it, and this is incredibly exciting. One of the reasons why this holiday event was screwing with our percentages so heavily is because, funny enough, heirlooms are a part of this event. And not just like heirloom items, like eventually I'm going to have to get the ring and, you know, do the fishing event and whatever else that may be. Wrong. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is the scabbards and the hilts that eye level and maximum level upgrade your heirlooms. Because at the Lunar Festival, which is a cool event by the way, because the Lunar Festival allows you to purchase upgrades to your thing, to your guy. Where's the quest in here? Ah, you see it right here? Worn Stoneskin Gargoyle's Cape. I don't have any of the Worn Stoneskin Gargoyle's Cape. Zilch, 0. We don't care about that. However, there are items in the game that allow you to unlock. Help Jaina discover who took the Divine Bell and where they may have took it. You may speak to Seamus Goldilocks in Lion's Landing to be ported to Darnassus. It's part of the Karasang Wilds campaign, guys. There's no way we're going to be able to complete this quest. Let's look up the tracking of thieves. We're in a learning... This is a learning mode item right here. So it's called the tracking of thieves. It's a quest. The quest itself takes place over here and includes our girl Jaina Proudmoore. However, if you're curious, like I am, about how far back this quest goes, well, let me explain.
Every year, the Druids
I don't want to
of
do that,
Norway
thank you.
hold a celebration of our
Mr. Blade Swift, good to meet you.
Over an
Okay.
ancient epoch, we celebrate the wisdom of our elders, share in magnificent
Point being,
feasts, and of course,
it starts in a quest that
shoot
takes place up
fireworks
around
for
here
a small
somewhere.
donation you
Maybe on the
can purchase
Enclave,
colorful
maybe up
rockets
here.
from our vendors.
Someone
While
around this
using some of
area
the launchers
gives the
around
kid a
here.
quest.
Adventure.
The heavens in their countless
This
stars
quest-
hold answers to earthly mysteries.
If you're curious,
The
I know you
wise
are
and the
because
lucky.
I am. This quest is the 24th quest in the storyline Operation Shieldfall, which starts in the Karasang Wilds. The Karasang Wilds are all the way out in Pandaria. So, yes, to answer the question that you're probably thinking, this zone will not be completable until Mists of Pandaria. That is a lot of expansions between now and then. That could take us 5 years. So our first zone as a collective, our first zone as a fun group, will not be 100% completable. I'm sorry. That is just the way the world works right now. We will be stuck at, if anything, 99.9% until Mists of Pandaria. And that is what we're going to have to accept with this challenge, is that there will be things that we cannot 100% due to the current stipulations that we have placed upon ourselves. Now, there is an argument to be made, and I'm happy to hear it if anyone would like to make it, that we should say, well, we can't leave until we do that, so then therefore we should make that the next objective. And I don't necessarily agree with you. There's a part of me that I'm saying to myself, that's not a bad idea. But there's also a part of me that's saying, I don't think though. I don't think that's the idea that we want to go with. Gather baby octopus. The quest starts and ends in Darnassus. There is a fishing daily quest up here that we need to find and complete. It's somewhere around here. But it might not be up right now. Because, there it is. Found it. Okay. There's a fishing daily quest right here.
What brings you here?
Give me
Herring
your...
is one of the most sought-after fish in
Okay, so we want to
Not
fish
just
in
any
Root
herring.
Theron Village.
The Caldori herring is native only to the waters surrounding Teldrassil.
Yep, we
I
know.
try to keep a good supply of it.
This
because
is a
it
good little like
so
side quest for us to
versatile.
do.
I just finished smoking a batch of it, so I need to rebuild my stocks. Would you mind helping me? You can catch
The other trick
Caldor
that I have
herring
heard
by fishing in Rutgeren village.
is that you're actually capable of doing war mode and then not war mode and getting what you want. There are baby octopus out here. You guys see this? Just got weeds. That's not it. Also, why is our fishing so low? Didn't we just fish like a boatload? Maybe we didn't get fishing out there when we were up in Darnassus or something. Classic fishing 8 is just not the vibe. Maybe it's because we were in Darnassus and Darnassus was updated to Cataclysm, so we've got like really high Cataclysm. No, we literally have 9 fishing. This is crazy, guys. I'm just going to put fishing on my bars for this quest here. We still have 11 minutes, so we have about 19 minutes left on the respawn timer. So this is a fun little side quest that we'll get to do. We probably should get ourselves a bobber, yeah? That's crazy. We were fishing in Darnassus and not getting any levels that whole time. I mean, we were really grinding up there. Let's get a bobber real quick. Look at us. We're a deer. We move quickly. I really don't like the deer travel form. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Off the coast of Teldrassil are
Say
quite
shiny
large and
bauble.
robust. Rumors say it is the speedy growth of our new world tree.
Yeah, we
that
want
is the
this.
cause.
We want that. Okay.
Be careful.
We're gonna equip this because that's the kind of man Jesse James was. 3 cheers to the naive and gullible here, guys. Hold on. Fishing journal. There she goes. We need the fishing journal so we can put the bobber on the fishing rod. And then we can come down here. Look at that cute little rabbit. And we can try to get something from this in the next 10 minutes. We are looking for 8 Caldori herring. The red herring is looking for Caldori herring. And that, there's a little bit of irony in that. But our fishing skill is so dog water that we're not catching anything useful here, at least at first. I will say fishing is one of the more boring professions that are in the game. I know a lot of people like it. I always tell myself I'm going to level it. There is never a moment where I think there's never been a time in WoW where I'm like, you know what? Fishing sucks. I'm always like, man, I wish I could level fishing. Like, maybe I should level fishing. Then I start on the journey. I guarantee you I don't get there. But who knows? Maybe in this moment here, I will be bold enough to do it as a necessity to complete all the things that we're interacting with. There's the Caldori herring. Let's go. Whoops, I did not mean to transform there. Come on. One more. Keep the train rolling here. Okay, well, we tried. There's another. Okay, we're getting on a roll here. We love to see it. We love to see it. I don't know if you guys saw the unfortunate news about the ice hockey rink that had a shooting at senior night. High school kids were playing hockey. Doing the thing they loved. I've been a hockey player my whole life, since I could walk, really. And senior night, such a magical moment for a lot of players that play high school hockey. Tons of high school hockey players all around the country. For many of them, that's their last, that could be, one of their last seasons of playing competitive hockey and being with their teams. And unfortunately, a toxic relationship, or I guess we can't really speak to the relationship. We're not within it, but a couple that was divorced or separated. The ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband showed up at the event and attacked with a violent firearm and murdered a few people, injured a few others, and ultimately took his own life. Just a really tragic situation. I definitely would advise caution in looking up the video. It is very disappointing to see, and scary and sad to see the kids on the ice not knowing what to do, being in the middle of an arena with no coverage, no protection except for the gear that they're currently wearing, with only a few exits that are pretty limited in their size, one player at a time at certain parts of the rink. And we're not fortunate that it happened at all, but we were fortunate that the players were not the targets, as that could have been just even more devastating. So it doesn't make any difference to the families to have them in our thoughts and our prayers. It doesn't change the situation that happens, but I think when tragedies like this strike, it's important for us to reflect on our own lives and the people that we love around us and how important they are to us, and think through ways to reconnect with them, or to tell them we love them one more time, or to do a nice thing for them. And if you're someone who is out here struggling with a conflicted relationship, an abusive relationship, a relationship where there is violence, just know that you're not alone. It's a very common thing, and that there are resources out there to help you, protect you, support you in getting out of that situation safely, so that you don't that you can live your life with a smile on your face, because that's what everything's about, right? Smile on your face. Okay, let's see what other events are on here. Looks like the campaign closed for the... plushie today, actually. So we were actually streaming during that campaign. I did not realize that. I hope I had it enabled, because that would be pretty cool. Only 2 more herring here. Sorry to get a little somber, but I just think it's important to reflect on situations like that. While we may not be victims of them, like the loss of any life, particularly in communities that we belong to, where it's a little bit closer to home, is always something that's sad and worth honoring. So, taking the time to discuss that, and now moving on to the next part of our journey here. We are 18 minutes through Urasan's respawn. About 12 minutes remaining there. We're going to run through the portal here, into Darnassus from Ruth Theron, and we are going to turn in this quest, this daily quest for fishing that will give us a little something that we need to do. First of all, it'll give us a point in our fishing skill, and second of all, maybe it'll give us a fun reward that we can celebrate together here. So let's see. Here's the herring.
Thanks. I wonder what
A shiny bag of things. Let's see what we can get in here. It can contain the strand crawler, the jeweled fishing pole, and the bone fishing pole. Unfortunately for us, all we got is the ivory fisherman's pipe. So, nothing very interesting on that end. Oh! Wait a minute. Is there something worth noting here in terms of what we could potentially cook in getting to that level 150 that we're trying to get to? Let's see. Old world recipes. Smoked sagefish requires raw sagefish, which I'm not seeing raw sagefish in the purchasable items. But long jaw mud snappers are in this list, and we are currently at 85 out of 300 cooking. can this get us to 300? I don't necessarily know the answer to that question, if I'm being honest with you guys. However, I think it's worth noting and worth attempting, since we are sitting on a long farm, to see what happens when we do this. The next thing that we need to figure out, since we still have about 10 minutes remaining on the respawn, is where the cooking trainer is here, because we may be able to learn a few we may be able to learn a few recipes that will allow us this may allow us to cook some more fish if we have recipes available to us at our man in here, Alagorn, the cooker, the chef, the legend.
Cooking is a lifelong pursuit, and I see we share the same passion.
Okay, looks like we have nothing available to us at this time. But there are other items in here that he does reference. Classic cooking, 125, 150. There's some supplies in here. We already have smoked sagefish. We don't have sagefish delight. There are some items that we can learn here from this guy. Okay, so let's focus up and focus on what we're doing. We have 9 minutes left on Urasan's respawn. So that's where we're going. We are going to get Urasan done and dusted. Alright. Urasan has 22 minutes remaining. And we're currently wearing a fishing pole, but you know what? Who cares? Charged Slicer is an axe. Oh, that's a cool model. It's a gun. Oh, look at that gun. Look at the barrel. Okay, so we know about Naoma, the Sagefish Delight. That's what we're going to try to target. Because it would be kind of cool for us to come out of this zone with that Sagefish Delight in hand. And by in hand, I meant learned. We're never going to get the all of these items here from this Darnassus quest. The slippery sack. Slippery snack. Sorry. Oof, that's awkward. But the strand crawler is a companion that we can learn from this. The bonefish fishing pole. Look at that, guys. And the jeweled fishing rod, which is absolutely stunning, are all drops from this item. They come from a shiny bag of things. So this is a fishing quest. It is a daily quest. We can come back to this at any time if we decide that that's what we want to do. But we'll stay focused here on doing those dailies like occasionally as they pop back up. I don't want to get sucked into staying in a zone just so we log in once a day for 15 minutes, complete the daily quest, and say, all right, guys, peace. We'll keep the cooking quests in mind and the fishing quests in mind as we move through, but ultimately those are something that we're going to interact with sparingly and when they make the most sense. Okay, Urasan. Please, my brother, you have the option here to take time out of your day to respawn and to drop our legs, our pants. Do us a favor, my brother. Drop our pants. Drop our pants as low as you can. Please. There's just nothing that I think we can get from these guys anymore that, like, I think is worth, like, killing them to find out. I probably should have gone to check out the corrupted guy. This priest here is casting smite 100 times. Okay. Oh, there he is. Let's go. 25-minute respawn that time, according to our tracker. This is why we get to the area a little bit early. You want credit? Oh, that's embarrassing. Small brown pouch. Damn it. That's fine. It's fine. This is all part of the journey, guys. We're at kill number 7 for Urasan. Last time we saw Thregil was a while ago. And it's been 66 minutes, to be exact. I'm hoping that he's alive. Because if we don't get the gnarl pines in a bit, it is what it is. But the machete, I want to get the machete. And the reason why I want to get the keen machete more, I mean, I want to get the gnarl pine light. I want to get them both the same amount, to be honest with you. I want them done. I want them completed. I want them executed. But the reason why the machete is so frustrating to me is I almost guarantee you, if I had to bet my bottom dollar, I have had the machete before, in my bags, in my hands, on my character, dressed to impress. I just feel like at some point in my stupid life, my stupid little kid, you know, however old I was in 2007, like 11 years old or whatever, I was like, ooh, the keen machete is cool and a level 1 character can equip it. I'm going to put Fiery Enchant on a level 1 rogue and duel people in Goldshire. Like, that sounds like something I would do. Now, the problem is, has that character survived till today? No, absolutely not. That character was probably grinded on, spent money on, accidentally leveled to level 2, and deleted like everything else. And so here we are, stuck. Just like this. In this cave, grinding the machete, hoping for it to drop, understanding that it maybe never will. That's just it. The other question is, does the machete... Oh my god! He respawned! Guys, that's crazy. We literally just left and came back in, and here he is with his machete in hand. Alright. Focus up. This is big. Big if true here, guys. Okay. Another pouch. We've got a lot of pouches. We are pouched up. Pouched out. Okay, let's get on our mountain once we can. The other thing is we're also almost at level 20, and I don't know if we get flying at 20 or if we get flying at 19, or if we get flying at 30. That's also very important to note. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to go to Dolinar. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go over to the kitchen, cooking kitchen. The kitchen of cooking. And start crafting. Because that's just what we have to do here. We have to cook. We have so much to cook. Wait. No, guys. Someone stop me. These are the cooked kind. Oh my god. This cannot be. Well, mistakes were made.
Welcome to Dolana, the highest adventure.
And
let me know if you need any recipes.
That's just embarrassing for me. That scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't realize I had an item in my bags that I could have consumed for my collection. I should be more cautious. Let's post this cloak on the auction house. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We have some time. We have a way to do this. Red linen robe. We've already got that in our collection. These green bags. We don't need these pouches. We certainly don't need these mud snappers. That's for sure. We don't need the nectar or the fronds. We don't need the small fish or those things. The bow will gain the appearance here. We'll gain the appearance of the rifle. And we will sell the bristly whiskers. So, we have... Where is this moon coming from? Winds of mysterious fortune. We knew about this. We've got our versatility up. Okay. I don't know why I just right-clicked on that. I just had like a hand spasm there for a second. Now, the other question that we have to ask ourselves is, from a druid's perspective, which item do we have the most of? We've got 145 heads, 143 shoulders, shit ton of backs, which makes sense because they cross characters, so that's not fair. 162 chests. Not a lot of shirts. Look at our shirt collection, guys. We are skimping on the shirt grind. We have a tailor that can make us some of these, and I think we should start to collect more of these shirts. I mean, there's 126 in the game. We only have 7. We have more tabards than we have that. I also do love Tabard of the Achiever. I mean, I think that thing looks clean. We have some tabards in here that are pretty cool. Blood Knight's tabard. Explorers League tabard. Okay. Bracers, 141 bracers. That's pretty high. 158 mitts, 142 waists, 157 legs, 160 feet. There's some really ugly feet out there. Like, what are we doing here, guys? We don't want that. These? Uggs. These? Bugs. You know what I mean? Like, come on. We don't need all that. Also, love this set right here. Mythic Blackrock Foundry Monk set. You don't have to tell me twice. That is a set that deserves respect. It's our auction house friend here. Let's see what we got here. No results found for Battle Chain Cloak. It may be 2 words or 3 words. You're telling me there's nothing found for Battle Chain Cloak? Nothing. This is the issue that I ran into last time. There's nothing about this thing out there. Like, I think we just post it for like 5K and we just see what happens. Like, someone may have like a curb on the market. Okay. We'll post that up. It's posted. We'll go back in. Fish or cut the bait. Okay, so story time. My first character in World of Warcraft. How did I get into World of Warcraft? Oh boy. So I had this kid that I went to school with. His name was Alan. Man, Alan, if you're out there, dude, you're a real one. Alan was a weird dude. In retrospect, Alan's a really weird dude. However, Alan was weird because he was so comfortable with himself at that age, that 4th and 5th grade age, that he could be weird. And while Alan, later in life, really gave me the creeps, and frankly, I think he gave everyone the creeps. There was probably something going on there. I don't know what his home life was. I don't want to analyze the kid. Later in life, you know, in middle school, it just became a lot. But in elementary school, Alan was just himself, and I was really into books. I loved reading. I've always loved reading. So what I would do is I'd read books like Aragon. My 5th grade teacher, his name was Mr. Keck. He got me into Aragon. He got me into Ranger's Apprentice. He got me into a lot of different things on the book side of things. And so I would read these books voraciously. Like in between lessons, I'd get my work done early, and I'd read a couple pages, or kind of nerding out, right? Just nerding out on these books. And Alan was like, "Oh shit, this kid is a nerd like me." I guess. I assume that's probably what he thought, because that's how it works when you're a kid. And he would be like, "Hey man, like, you ever what do you think of life?" And I had some friends on my school bus, and they wanted me to play RuneScape. They got me into RuneScape, so I got into RuneScape. And to get my membership, I had to do the cat litter box every week. To do the cat litter box, my dad was trying to teach me a lesson of of hard work and earning things. And so he'd teach me a lesson of hard work and get me to do this thing, doing the cat litter box, training me on how to keep things clean and smelling nice. It's very important. Thanks, Dad, for that lesson. So I was playing RuneScape, and the Scholastic Book Fair came along. If you ever been to a Scholastic Book Fair, it's a blast. If you've never been to one, if you have been to one, it's a blast and you know it. If you haven't been to one, then it is essentially at American elementary schools. I don't know if they still do this, but at American elementary schools, growing up, you basically go into the library, and there is all of these, like, I don't want to say vendors, because it's not multiple different vendors like at like a trade show or a card show or something like that. It is one vendor who set up multiple different stations, and it's different books that you're allowed to buy. And usually what your class would have you do is you'd go to the library, like, if it's 2 weeks long, you go to the library 1 week, and you go and you make your list. You write down the prices of the items you want. You take it home to your parents, and you say, "Hey, Ma. Hey, Dad. Love you so much. Love you a long time. I really want this item from the bookstore, the Scholastic Book Fair. Here's what I want to get." And then your parents might or might not, depending on the day, send you with some money. You go. Okay, so why is this important to my World of Warcraft story? Alan and I were friends at this point. I liked reading books. He liked the same books I did. Sometimes he would kind of like try to teach me Dungeons and Dragons, although at the time I didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was, but we played this game like at recess or at lunch sometimes, where we'd have these little character sheets. I didn't really know what we were doing. Wouldn't have called them character sheets at the time, but we'd make little characters, and we'd have like little spells, and we'd like I don't even think we rolled dice. I honestly think we may have just like flipped over pieces of paper, like randomized the pieces of paper and flipped them over to determine the numbers. But either way, we'd make it on like sheets of paper. And anyway, so we do this. We'd have this fun. The Scholastic Book Fair comes around. Alan and I are walking through the Scholastic Book Fair. I'm playing RuneScape at this point. I'm probably at like black armor, like not very deep into the game, right? I don't really know what I'm doing very well. My friend's got like a dragon scimitar, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know, okay? But anyway, I see a RuneScape guidebook at the Scholastic Book Fair, and I'm like, yo, bro, this is sick. And I will say, I think it's very important to note. This is like one of those formative moments. The reason why I remember this so well is every kid has a moment where something or at least a lot of kids, like I feel like that, especially that play World of Warcraft, a lot of kids that have like more weird or nerdy or quirky interests, and honestly I think it's every kid. I think it's dumb of people in communities to assume that it's not a shared experience, because I think a lot of kids go through the same thing. But anyway, point being, the kids, me, the kid, and Alan, my friend, are at the book fair. I'm like, yo, look at this book. It's a guidebook for RuneScape. He's like, sick. I know you like RuneScape. You're learning RuneScape. You want to learn about something? You read about it. Duh, obviously. You should get the guidebook. I'm like, cool. I'll get the guidebook. I get the guidebook, and there's another kid in my class who's like, oh, wow. I used to play that game. That game sucks. That's for shitters. I don't think he said shitters, but whatever he said, it was mean. I took it to heart. I was embarrassed. So I hid the book in my backpack. I didn't want to show other people that I had purchased the book, so I hid the book in my backpack. I was an embarrassed, little, insecure loser. I'm in 5th grade. It happens. So, Alan, though, he's like, dude, he's right. RuneScape sucks. I know a better game. It's called World of Warcraft. I'm like, okay, what is World of Warcraft? He shows me World of Warcraft. Now, I never hung out with Alan outside of school. He was just my 5th grade buddy. I didn't really hang out with anyone outside of school except for the kids in my neighborhood. Because it was too much. We had too much going on as a family for my parents to drive me all around. And I grew up in Northern Virginia, so drive distances were long. However, Alan's like, World of Warcraft, dude, you got to look it up. So I look up World of Warcraft. Show it to my dad. Show it to my mom. I'm like, oh, look at this game. This game's so much cooler. Graphics are way better. How much more fun could this be? My dad's like, hey, that dragon is sick. If you know anything about my dad, which you guys don't, but since we're sharing, my dad is a very anti-fantasy kind of guy. Sci-fi, fantasy, no-go. Historical fiction, cool. Movies like Pulp Fiction, sweet. Cowboy movies, also sweet. He's also incapable of differentiating between the fact that cowboy movies are just fantasy movies. It's set in a different era. However, fine. Understood. He's not really into nerdy things. He's more of a non-fiction kind of guy. Cool beans. Not a big deal. But he sees the dragons, and he's like, oh, you like dragons. That's kind of cool. I'm like, sweet. I'm going to get this free trial. I get the 30-day free trial. I do it. Da-da-da. My dad's like, okay, cool. Sweet. Buy the game. Oh, wait. I need to pay $15 a month to play the game. I was already paying $5 a month for my RuneScape subscription, which is, I think probably about as much as doing the cat litter box is worth. But maybe inflation has really taken that over. I'm not sure. So, my dad and I make another chores agreement. I cancel my RuneScape subscription, and I play World of Warcraft. Now, here we are. I started this with what's my first World of Warcraft character, and now here we are talking about the story leading up to me even playing World of Warcraft. Okay, so I log in to World of Warcraft. I'm with my dad. To note, I did not have my own computer. I would play World of Warcraft on my dad's computer. Okay? This would be a contentious point of our relationship for many a decade, because I would obviously get addicted to World of Warcraft and would want to use his computer all the time. Okay. So, here we are. I got the game. Game's downloaded. All 7 discs. My dad's there with me. It was a MacBook. We had a MacBook, by the way. You could download World of Warcraft on Macs. They were actually pretty cross-compatible. Although I don't know if the first... Actually, I don't want to say that for certain. The Mac may have come later. I know I played WoW on a Mac, though. Okay? But this may have not been a Mac yet. This may have been a PC. Either way, game's downloaded. All 7 discs. Loading her up. Time to make a character. Tauren Warrior. Of course. Big, giant dude with horns, cowl man, minotaur looking thing. Remember, I'm all into Aragon. I'm all into Percy Jackson. I'm liking it, okay? I build the Tauren Warrior. My dad thinks it's cool. I'm like, oh, my dad is interested in my interests. My dad thinks it's cool. I've got this big, giant, two-handed hammer. I spawn into the world of Warcraft for the first time. I'm like, oh my god, look at this world. Look at the graphics. I go to swing on my first enemy, 4 damage. 3 damage, whatever it was. It was more than 1, which is what you start with in RuneScape. Half the time, it's zeros, okay? I'm like, holy shit. And I've got spells to cast. I've got Heroic Strike. I don't know why I thought that was so cool, but when I clicked Heroic Strike and the cow jumped up and slammed down on top of the freaking Plane Strider's head, I was like, oh my god, this is my game. I wasn't wrong. I'm still playing it today. However, my dumbass, not knowing how to play games because I was an idiot back then, ran. I wanted to explore. I wanted to go check things out. I wanted to see the world. So what did I do? I ran down the road, out of the starting zone for the Tauren, into Mulgore. Such a beautiful plains area. What a time to be alive. And I kept running, guys. I didn't stop running. I followed the road. I wanted to see. I didn't understand what levels really were. Like in RuneScape, you can just kind of run around as long as you don't run into like any areas where things are going to attack you on their own, which there aren't many of them, by the way, at least in like the earlier starting areas. Then you're fine. So what happened? I get to a zone where everything that I encounter is a skull. 10 levels or higher for the uninitiated many. 3 cheers to the naive and gullible. I go to attack something, probably thought it was interesting. Maybe it was a cougar, maybe it was a Gevra, which, by the way, shout out to the Gevras. Those are cool characters. And I get clapped. Dead. I figure out that I have to go find my body, so I run all the way back to my body, following the little arrow on the map. No big deal. Chill vibes. And I'm like, now how do I get home? I don't know how to get back to where I came from, to the mobs that I can kill. I don't know what a Hearthstone is. I didn't read the thing in my bag. You click it, boom, there it is. It's always right there. It's literally always here. On every character of mine, I don't move it. It's my Hearthstone. Okay? Even though they've got the freaking other versions of the Hearthstone now, I don't do it. I've got my Hearthstone. I'm a creature of habit. That's what we're dealing with. Okay? So, I log off the character, and I make a new character. Congratulations. I never played a warrior again. I literally did not level the warrior again until Wrath of the Lich King. This was 2007 or 2006 when I made my account. I think it was 2007. I think that's when my account was created. Maybe it was 2006. Either way, it was around the time Burning Crusade came out. I don't know if it was before or after, but it was close to around the time Burning Crusade came out. 2006, 2007 time period. I did not make a warrior until Wrath of the Lich King, and I was playing so much World of Warcraft that I lost friends. And my dad would get mad at me and yell at me to get off the game all the time. My mom, she ran a daycare at my house. God bless her soul. My mom is an angel of a human being. My mom would run this daycare at the house, and I would be in my dad's office, which was in the basement, and the daycare kids hung out in the basement and like played a lot of games all day, right? Like as they would, because that's like a very fun like open area. Our basement was finished, but there was a lot of space to run around in and play games and stuff. So they'd be playing like house or, you know, decorate or, you know, zookeeper or some shit like that. And I would be in my dad's office on the other side of the room. There's no door. Everyone would be like, oh, Tyler, come play. Wrong. I'm leveling my second Dwarf Hunter to level 30. Thank you very much. I played a lot of World of Warcraft, but I never played a warrior until Wrath of the Lich King. And that's my journey into WoW. It all started with Alan, some random kid bullying me into being embarrassed about my nerdy interests. And it ended with me starting my journey into this game that I've now been interacting with for almost 20 years. More years I've been playing this game than years of my life that I haven't been. And that is a very crazy statistic to think through, because that you just don't really think that way, right? Like when you think about things, you just don't think that way. But that's just how it is. And we are about to get to that point in the night where the hound is going to need a walk, but we're gonna respawn our boy Urasan here real quick before we do that, because he deserves a swift and merciful death, and we deserve our pants. And then we'll take about a 5 to 10 minute break, refuel on some water. You guys can do the same if you're so inclined. And then we'll get the dog walked, and we'll be back and ready to grind. I think we'll get a couple more kills on Urasan tonight. We're gonna keep the fishing going. I'm gonna get as many raw long jaw mud snappers as we can to get our cooking skill as high as possible. We're also gonna see if there's any creative ways while we're doing this to additionally level up our cooking even further. I keep clicking N instead of K because I'm an idiot. There were other recipes in here. The sage fish recipe. We might be able to figure out where these sage fish spawn. It looks like not here. There's pork ribs, crab cakes. If we can get legs, spider legs, or there's a lot of things that we can potentially get. So maybe there is a route for us to get this item. But either way, we're going to get the long jaw mud snappers, as many of them as we can. Hopefully get this old world recipes as high leveled as possible. And then once we are there at the 170, 180 mark, 175, then we will have that recipe learned instead of just in our bags waiting for us to do something with it. We also have a lot of crafting materials here. There is a play where in between spawns we go on our other characters and start to interact with our professions. We want to level up our blacksmithing on our rogue and our engineering on our rogue so that we can learn some of the things that go along with those professions. Specifically blacksmithing for the weapons, and like the swords and the daggers and the maces and everything else that you can wield in your hands to swing. And then our inscriptionist and our... what is the other one that he is? Alchemist? Inscription and alchemy? That sounds right. The monk, level up inscription for staves and some unique glyph appearances. We need glyph of the stars and a couple other cool glyphs that we could potentially get for our characters' appearances, but more importantly, potentially sell on the auction house for a decent penny. And there are also decorations that we can craft now for our housing, since we have our housing set up. That was a new thing that we did last time. Sorry, not last time. In the first episode, we set up our house. And frankly, that would be a good thing to work on right now, because we'd have something to do in the middle of these respawns. But again, we're just trying to get creative on filling the gaps while still being stuck and trapped in this zone until we move on to the next one. And I think there is definitely something to say for like being trapped, like what that even means. But I do like the idea of like focusing on one zone at a time and only really deviating from it for specific purposes. Things like raids once a week, that kind of thing. Once we get into those zones and start progressing through them. I don't just want to go hog wild and start doing half the Karasang. Krasarang? It's really the Krasarang Wilds, isn't it? I've called it Karasang Wilds my entire life. It's spelled Krasarang. Why did no one ever tell me that? No one ever corrected me. Maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe it's just weird. Who knows? Either way, here we are. Trying to focus on completing just this one task of killing Urusan one additional time. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Soon these guys will not scale with us anymore. Level 30, I believe, is the level. Sorry, bud. Lead you out. He spawns right here. We're well aware of his spawn. We're so intimately familiar with him and who he is and what he represents that it should honestly be a little illegal at this point. We also have this potion for leveling up speed, and I will not be drinking those unless I am in a zone where I am doing the storyline for the quests, because that is the only way, in my opinion, for me to utilize that potion most effectively. We should have a respawn coming here shortly. We're at the 30-minute mark now, and I just saw somebody phase. I hope that wasn't us. Doesn't appear to be, because we did kill this, and we did kill that. So fingers crossed we're not phased in any weird way. That is one bear, but that is not the bear we need. And the gaps between Urusan have been around this time frame here, this 30 to 35 minute respawn rate. I've heard it to be as low as 25 minutes at times. We're trying to be around this area, around the 22-minute mark, to give ourselves some wiggle room on when he respawns. But unfortunately, that means being glued to an area and not really doing anything other than slinging moonfires at unsuspecting humanoid bear creatures until their big boss baddie respawns for us to take advantage of and murder. But again, he's got to drop my pants. He needs to drop my pants. He's got one job. Drop my pants. There is the rogue that we saw. We thought that they phased earlier, but they did not phase. They are just riding around so fast that they despawned for a second or left our field of view, which I don't really fully understand because I could see other characters behind them, but it's fine. Let's get this silver leaf. We are getting a lot of herbs from this process. Let's take an inventory real quick. 59 Peace Bloom, 63 Silver Leaf, 13 Mage Royal, and these things are not worth nothing. They have some value. You can see 6 gold per, 8 gold, and almost 9 gold per. Swift Thistle's worth almost 6 gold per. So there's a lot of money to be made on these herbs, but we're ultimately going to be utilizing them to level our different professions. I'm surprised Urusan is not up yet. He is now at the 32-minute mark. And that is disappointing. The other thing we can do is go kill Thrill real quick and see if he's up. But the problem is, every second that we're not here is a second our boy could be respawning and getting killed. The thing that gives me hope about being around this area for as long as I am typically is that if I did miss the spawn by about a minute, I would suspect that his body would still be here, and I would be able to clock that. However, I have been fooled before, and it won't be the last time I'm fooled. So, sending positive vibes. We're just going to kill some gardeners. Why did it do that? I didn't mean to do that. He's not back up yet? I know, pup. Hey, these things don't play around. They still deal damage. We gotta be careful. This song sounds like we're in a spaceship or something, having a little dance party. Really does no damage. I mean, Moonfire does absolutely no damage. I mean, look at the damage that Moonfire does, guys. Just literally nothing. Linen Cloth, very important. That's the other thing I'm really looking forward to in Darkshire, and I think I've said this several times. Darkshore? Not Darkshire, Darkshore. The thing I'm really looking forward to Darkshore that we haven't really been able to take advantage of yet is the fact that the mobs that we're going to be killing there are really going to have actual crafting materials, and we're going to be interacting with some things that are really going to be dynamic. It's a level 10 to 25 type zone in the old world, and so that's where people are getting their like formative development as characters, and there are some actual like greens that are dropping off of mobs and a bunch of other things that we're just not experiencing here because it's a starter zone. And that's the downside of like anything that starts in a starter zone, is it is a starter zone, and when you do a challenge like this where you get trapped and you have to progress through this starter zone, the things that you're interacting with are starter like. They are very simple. They're not very dynamic, and so that makes some of the fun and randomness that we're going to be experiencing in the next zone not happening yet, which makes it less exciting for me, but it also makes it less exciting for you guys. I mean, when we go into Darkshore, we're going to be thoughtful, and like these rare spawns are going to be part of our journey. We're going to be checking on them the whole way through because there's going to be enough to do, and we're going to be there long enough that doing so will be not only the most interesting way to do it, but it will be probably the most efficient way to do it as well. I'm walking away. I really don't want to walk away here, guys. I'm really nervous about this thing getting killed. There's freaking there's a bear. There's people around. They kind of don't really come over to the spawn area typically. They typically stay up here and they go right into this shack, but I just can't miss the spawn, and unfortunately we're in a situation now where he is beyond the 30-minute respawn rate, or the expected 30-minute respawn timer, and there may have been something that we missed, or we got phased and we don't know it, and that's really disappointing if that's the case. But I really don't want to leave Urasan to just respawn here. It makes me nervous, but I think we're going to have to pull the trigger. I think we're going to have to go up top, take a look at the grill, get the kill on him, and come back and hope that that Urasan hasn't been killed by anyone. And if he has, then we'll miss out on him, but at least we'll have the timer and we'll know what to expect. And we might be able to pull off another 2 kills tonight and see where we land on the drops, right? I'm also very soon to 100% mount speed, which will make this trekking back and forth a little bit quicker. We won't be able to fly yet, but we will be able to run faster. So, okay, let's do the classic sprint in and pray. Oh my god, we got dazed. Holy crap, there's a lot of sprites. We've been here before. This is not the first time we've interacted with this many sprites. We know what to do. We've done this before. We do this. We swipe them. We swipe them. We heal. We come this way. We line of sight them again. We really wish we had an AoE bleed here, but we don't. We are almost dead. We're almost dead. We're still alive. Holy crap. How are we still alive? Nobody freaking knows. We're gonna run over here. Line of sight them. I'll let the hots tick up a little. Go bear form. Thrash them. Nice. Okay. So we survived that somehow, some way. Absolutely nothing dropped off of any of these guys, and the grill did not respawn. So we are SOL on the respawn rates for Thrill and likely Urasan as well. But we're gonna hope. We're hoping here. We also didn't hit our level, which I think we would have done had we gotten the rare. The rares do give a lot more experience by a pretty significant margin than the regular mobs, which makes sense. They're kind of just like part of the adventure. Like I think Blizzard kind of just designed these zones with these rares as like while you're on your adventure, if you run into these, like here's a half a quest of experience for killing this creature. They're not very difficult to kill. They don't. I mean, they have more health, obviously, but they're not very difficult to kill. You can see that they have guaranteed drops pretty much on those satchels that you normally used to like hope and pray for in your entry-level zones back in the day, and they are clearly part. They're like designed to be part of the experience. Like you are supposed to kill them. You are supposed to hopefully interact with them in a way that allows you to get the items that they allow you to get when you kill them. Urusan, no body here. Oh, there he is. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. Okay. This is big. The dog is going to be obsessed with this because now she gets her walk. But that also allows us to kill more time between... There's level 20 into the wild blue yonder. That means we can fly, yeah? Let's see. Oh my god, guys. We get flying now. That is insanity. This will severely increase the speed in which we are able to bounce back and forth between these two zones and do fun things. So, let's take a look inside again. We're looking for their respawn on Thrill. No luck. But that is okay. We will wait for his respawn, and we'll come back. Maybe he'll be here. Just going to slowly kill these rascally sprites. We unlocked our flight. I didn't realize that level 20 was flight, so that's super exciting for us. We get to now fly, which we've never been able to do before on this character. And now that we can fly, I mean, that really opens up the... I thought we'd have to hit 30, and I didn't think we'd be able to do that in the zone, but that facilitates our ability to do the Lunar Festival on this character, if that is something that we wanted to take advantage of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit our flip-flappy ass right here to enjoy the views, and I'm going to walk the dog, so I'll be right back. Alright. We're back. Dogs walked. Starting to come down with a little bit of a cold, so I had to pour that emergency. Save off the sickness. I've got a hockey tournament this weekend. And we certainly don't want to be stuck feeling like not great playing a bunch of hockey. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that off our bars, and we're going to go into our key bindings. And we're going to put this on our key bindings here so that we can quickly transform into our flight form. And then once we're in here, we look for Thragril to spawn. He does not appear to be up. Okay. And we run right back out again. Just a little loop. So the downside now of taking that break is that we're going to be off cycle. We were on the Urasan cycle. We still had visibility into him. But what we didn't have visibility into was the grill. So, and we still don't have that visibility. The last kill we had was Urasan 13 minutes ago. So we shouldn't really expect him to be back up. Which is fine. Again, we don't expect him to be back up just yet. 15 minutes. So, we're going to come down here. We're going to get the old trusty rod back out. We've got about an hour left here of grinding to do. The other thing we could do in this part is Lunar Festival. But I don't really love the idea of that. I think it'll take us too far away from our goal. I think we'll be off cycle from Urasan pretty heavily. And then if we miss him, we're losing opportunities to get the pants. Like every time we miss him is another chance to get the pants. Another roll that we're not getting. We're not taking advantage of the roll into the void. Hoping and praying for those pants to drop. I am very disappointed in the Thragril drop off because I want the key machete. And frankly, I've been prioritizing Urasan, thinking that would be the hard one. But I think that cave is so central to the questline that people that don't know where they're going just walk right in, see the rare, and kill it. Urasan, the questline itself, takes you to the back side of the village. Preferably not. I mean, I guess it depending on what direction you're coming from. Preferably not in the line of Urasan spawn. So there's more flexibility. Which, bad for us, right? Let's go see what we got. Whoops. I got to change around the things here. Oh, my flying is not great, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I have an abysmal grasp on the controls of Dragonflight. So nothing in here. Do we just hang out in here for a little? Kill these guys? See what we can get to drop? Gotta get him out of his dust, maybe? Or maybe the dust is caused by me, actually, now that I think about it. It's probably because of me that he has the dust around him in the first place. Let's do a quick search. We're looking at Rascal Sprites. Oh, Rascal Sprites. That's not going to be helpful because it's a Rascal Sprite is the name of the drink. Let's see what they drop. Low % drop chance on the linen cloth. They drop the Aboriginal loin cloth. Short bastard sword, some greens, severing axe. All very similar drop tables to what we've seen out of similar creatures. Not really that big of a difference in the drop tables in this level range, or in this zone range, my apologies. Which is not helpful. Because again, not having a really dynamic drop table on a lot of these mobs means that there's not really any reason for us to just stick around in here and just kill them to see what we can get. Come on. Back out of combat. There we go. Look at these little flippy flap wings. I can't believe they gave bird, like level 20, you get bird form. You're bird. You're up, brother. Now, one thing I wanted to check, because I made a bold statement last time. I made a bold statement claiming that I couldn't mine here. And that appears to be the case. But we have the timer on Urasan. I'm just going to head back to the cave before I start this rant and start looking at stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. Too quick. I should probably stealth in here instead of doing this big pull that I've been doing every single time. I'll stop right here. Did I go down the wrong path? I did go down the wrong path. We'll heal up here and then we'll... We'll just do this. Get the heal off. One more of these. There's that. I don't know. Something is randomly healing us too. It's probably one of these potions. War-torn bands? Is that an item we have? We do not have this in our collection. Okay. So what I was saying is, I was not aware last time. Last stream. I don't know why I struggled to get that word out of my mouth there. Last stream, I was not aware for certain. I had a hunch, but I was not aware for certain that I could not mine on this land. On Teldrassil, I was like, you know what, it makes sense, you know, there was no mining trainer here in Classic, da-da-da-da-da, like I thought only in Classic. I figured when they went back and redid the zone, they would give you the option. Does not appear to be the case. The option does not appear to be the case. It appears like to me that we are exactly where we think we are. On a tree with no ore. So I've got this whole profession. It's at 60 because I did do some smelting. I will admit, I did some smelting on this character. Sue me. But 0 deaths so far, guys. Also, there's my achievement point count if no one's clocked it. I really don't think that's very high. I don't know if it's good or bad or ugly. I do not do a lot of achievements. I'm not an achievement hunter ever in my life. Here I am doing something very achievement-y. But I bring this up. I bring all of this up to say that I'm looking for my axe. No, there's no mining on this this rock that we're on, which is just absolutely asinine. Because I don't get to get mining nodes, and those are important. I've got characters that are trying to learn blacksmithing professions for me, and instead, here I am, standing here in a cave, trying to figure out what the hell I'm even talking about. I don't know what any of this means. Journeys. What is journeys? What is traveler's log? Tutorials. I don't know any of this stuff, guys. Okay. I did have something I was trying to do though. I was trying to go into my toy box and look up lumber, tree, wood. I thought I got a toy that was like an axe that allowed me to chop down trees for lumber in zones. Housing axe. Wow. Apparently, gathering lumber. It's warbound. The quest lumber for you. It gives you a lumberjack. How do I know if I have that? Lumber for you comes from Zizro. On the Horde side, though. That's only on the Horde side. Urusan is going to be spawning soon. So let's go get him. We're very familiar with the Urusan grind. How many kills of Urusan are we at right now? 8 kills. We're not even at 10 kills yet, guys. But I just haven't seen any lumber nodes, and I feel like that's something that would spawn here, you know? Now let's see if the trick for herbing works. It does work. So the old school trick for herbalism still applies. Jesus Christ, what is happening? All right, we're out. These guys are always trying to kill us out here. We haven't done anything wrong. There's our peace bloom. I feel way more secure though in like our ability to just like fly back and forth like real quick and just get what we need. There's the Mage Royal. Lots of herbs around here. Just bouncing around. We're like leapfrogs. Okay, let's go check it out. See if the village has anything for us. Okay. Nothing. Perfectly fine, though. Get our swipe on. This is also another really frustrating thing for me. I know for a fact I've done deer. The achievement has said it. And so for it to not give me credit on all the things is just like an unnecessary roughness. I don't need that smoke in my life. But it's the smoke that I'm dealt. As the great Zen Foulhoof once said, 3 cheers for the naive and gullible. And I feel bamboozled right now. How many people do you think actually like farm these entry level rares here, right? We're talking about Urusan. The reason why I asked that question is like, how accurate do we think these drop chances are? 1.3%? That's really what we're going to go with? We really think it's 1.3%? It just doesn't feel right. Something tells me that these pants drop more frequently. This man has been spawning since patch 2.1.3. Sorry. These pants may drop as early as 2.1.3. They may have dropped even sooner. Yes. Added in the patch 11.1.1 or 1.11.1. My man has been in the game since Naxxramas was first released in Classic WoW. You're telling me these pants drop chance has not changed in 20 years? 1.3%? Really? Something tells me that's not right. He drops Savory Snowplum, Fine Scimitar, Beaded Breeches, and really just nothing. He really drops nothing except the Gnarlpine leggings. Please leave this area, Night Elf. I don't want you messing with my drop. Actually, you know what? We're in the spirit of giving. This is Christmas. We want him to join in the fun. Get over here, brother. If we get to the point where we have a lot of people farming these and like people are joining in, I'd really prefer if everyone just waited up and let everyone get a bite, you know? Get your Moonfire ready. Do no damage. Maybe hit it with a white hit. Stop attack. Sit down, turn around. Do the hokey pokey, you know? And that way, we can get as many people with a chance. And then we can sing together when it's dropped. Do we want to do a quick risk it for the Groken? Let's do it. Let's have some fun here. Let's take some risks. Chat's quiet today. Oh. Stuck on a branch. Okay. One thing I forgot that we have is this stealth ability. Oh, that's Shadow Meld. I meant this ability. Whoops. I have botched this all the way to Kingdom Hell here. Dude, where is our boy? That's crazy. I'm just gonna heal myself. Do this. Bloop. We're back in the old stomping grounds of fighting against these Grell, nearly dying every time, and not getting the rare. It's old reliable here, guys. Get scratched. Okay, that's dead. They drop nothing except that stupid skull. And here we are, stupidly stuck, fighting the same clowns over and over and over again. I absolutely messed up my little entrance there. Now that I've remembered that I have the ability to go stealth, I can make that pull a little bit safer and a little bit less annoying. But what we can't do is miss Urisan spawn. This guy killed him! No! He killed him. You have red eyes? Well, that's the risk we take, boys. That is the risk we take. Alright, well, now we're not on... We know he's when he died. He died at 10:36, so we'll get one more shot at him before the end of the day. We still don't know when this motherfucker is going to spawn. Pardon my French. Maybe he's in here. Maybe he's like in the cave, you know? I'm gonna sneeze in a second. Excuse me. The spellcasts really do hurt, though. Oh, Ancestral Orb. There's not a rare drop whatsoever. We've never collected it, though. So we're going to add it to our collection now. Another item I know for a fact I've equipped 100 times. Just see what we've got. I'm just exploring the cave to see if we have a Thrill. I want to get Thrill like 1 or 2 more times tonight. Just to get the shots of the keen machete. Like there's Melanos. We know all about Melanos. If you weren't with us for the last episode, Lord Melanos is another satyr in this zone. He is commanding or leading the Grell, and we're tasked with slaying him. Fun thing with Lord Melanos is that he can turn into a cat. There he is! Ah, he's back! All right, we're gonna be on the rotation now with our boy. Goodbye, Thrill. Of course. No drop. The dog is making friends through the door here. Louie. Come on, Louie. Leave it be. Okay. So what are we doing here? What is our next step? We cannot do these Duratar and Elwyn Forest items. We cannot get Sagefish Delight due to the cooking gap. We have been fishing to try to get enough of the cooking items to try to bridge the gap in our cooking gap, but the length of time that will take us as a result of the items that we are learning will be so long that it will not be worth it. We are currently at 85. We need to be at 175, so that is not what we will do. We do have about a half-hour respawn on both of the mobs that we are attempting to kill, so what I'm going to do is I am going to come over here, sit down by our boy Urisan, just for safekeeping, and spawn ourselves our Warbank distance inhibitor. Now, I don't need to do that if I go to the bank, right? And the bank is in Darnassus. Which, the speed of this flying is just absolutely insane. And you almost feel way faster because you're such a little bird. Like, you guys might be getting motion sickness from this. I mean, like, I'm controlling it, so I kind of know where I'm going. But, like, I wouldn't blame you if you were like, nah, fam, turn this off. Like, yeah, I get it. I gotta remember where the bank is in Darnassus. Oh, wait. It's the big giant tree in the middle of the frickin' planet.
Welcome to the
Dude,
bank.
this is bank. You gotta
We
purchase
offer
bank.
financial accounts and safety deposit
Do you
accounts.
not have War Bank?
Do you already have an account with us, ma'am?
No.
Greetings.
So War Bank is not just a thing that you get. War Bank is not just a thing that you can access. You have to actually do that? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not understanding the play here. Oh. This is the... Oh my god, this is very much a lot. A lot of speed, a lot of movement. Okay, Auctioneer to loan. Hi, brother. I'm here to sell you something. Or, actually, I'm here to sell your people something. There's no way these war-torn bands are worth this much. But, you know, it could be worth a lot. This. Or this. Maybe this. No. What we really want to see what to sell is this catfish. We're going to sell it for 50 G's. And call it a day. Maybe we'll just get some quick cash. You can see we have 43 gold, so we're a little strapped for finances. So my mission to get the war bank is unsuccessful. We have learned another valuable World of Warcraft lesson, another modern World of Warcraft lesson, that you can't always get what you want, and that includes access to your war bank from anywhere. Alright. So, what does that mean for us? What I'd like to do is get out of this, summon our war bank, there she is, and deposit all of these materials for future utilization from our friends and family. We'll keep this for cooking. Everything else can go. We've got some fun things in here. We've got plenty of herbs. We've got some dyes. I don't know why we have that root. We have some spring water. I mean, you can see we're just kind of starting to get a little collection of materials going. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of like show off the different functionality that we're trying to work with here. We've only really played with Eridalran and gone on the adventure that's associated with the completion of every zone. But what we haven't done yet is leveraged our alt characters for anything super exciting. So, Domindus here is our monk. This is the test character that I used and started with, specific to the Silver Moon area and also a little bit into the Undead starting zone to kind of see how this might play out before actually diving in onto Eridalran. Dumandus is our leather-wearing monk character who does inscription and alchemy. So he'll be interacting with all of our herbs, trying to craft some of those cool glyphs, those unique glyphs for all of our characters, and he will also be crafting staves and any unique mounts or items associated with the alchemy profession. Sildilina, we almost had to whip her out today to complete the quests in Darnassus. She is currently in Darnassus. She is a enchanting and tailoring demon hunter. And you can see they've got mail from the auction house. They've been posting some of their crafts. She does tailoring, which will help us get some items that we may need from an appearance perspective. She also does enchanting, so she'll be disenchanting any items, any greens that we come across on our adventure that are not up to a certain threshold or certain quality that we may want to take advantage of for disenchanting and selling the materials, or crafting appearances, enchanting appearances that we may want on our weapons. Then last but certainly not least, we have Silver Shoes the Rogue. Silver Shoes the Rogue is our blacksmith and engineer, crafting our weapons and other associated items that come along with that. We do not have any ore, so Silver Shoes has not been Silver Shoes has been sorely underutilized at this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to log on to Dumantis. We've got about 10 minutes here to kind of play around with, in my opinion. And I think we'll just throw up the war bank, pull out some of the herbs, and see what types of crafts we can put together with him. And the first items that we want to take a look at are some of those more exploratory inscription items. We're not really in the world of potions yet. I don't really see any need to have a lot of potions crafted, although there are some things in old world alchemy that we might want to build. The other item that we are taking advantage of with these characters and their crafting professions is, of course, crafting for the housing. That is incredibly helpful. Look at that. Valfin Battle Axe sold. This was the axe I was talking about last time. Vilefin Battle Axe is a axe that drops from Vilefin Murlocs. It is pretty rare, very similar to kind of like the branch that we have equipped on Eredalren. 3,600 gold there, something definitely worth having. Scraggly leather pants are another item. Arcane Forged short sword. Some of these are actually vendor items that you purchase in the Blood Elf starting zone. People pay a fee for them to be equipped and added to their collections, despite the fact that they could just make a Blood Elf character and buy them themselves. I don't know why they do that, but you can see this staff right here, $6.99. I always sell them much lower than their price. Sorry if there's a cartel for these items out there that is very specific to these and doesn't want me doing this, but I'm not going to really change my ways. If you ask me, like Smoothbore Gun, we're not going to post that. We are instead going to utilize it as a Patchwork Armor is a no-go. Uncapped Robe, though, 300. We could sell that for 200. Shoddy Mail Bracers. Some of these, like, uncommon items, people level so quickly through these old zones, or they don't go back to them anymore, that they actually are worth some gold, and some of them take a little while to drop. I had an issue with the scraggly leather gear. I wanted to complete that set, which I was able to do, but the... Oh, I did not mean to post that for 100 gold. Can I cancel that auction? Yikes. What auction was that? Imbued Disciples Gloves? Yeah. Not what I wanted to do, guys. Okay. But anyway, as I was saying, there are items like the scraggly leather pants that are just uncommon pants, and I was farming them for a little bit of time before I actually was able to get them to drop. And not a ton of time, but when you're running around in level 1 zones just like killing stuff, it's really not the vibe. So these are the gloves that we wanted to repost for 1,000 gold. The other thing on here is the link stake. The only place to get the link stake is also in the Blood Elf starting zone. It is a crafting recipe, so if people are trying to 100% cooking, they'll need it. Of course, we have it, so we're fine. Okay, so we are going to summon our Warband Bank. And we're going to pull out the inscription-related items, such as Earth Roots with Thistle. Boom, boom, boom. We don't have any need for anything else. You can see all of our copper bars in there. Okay. On the profession side of things, we've got about 10 minutes left. You can see inscription. Classic inscription, we've gotten to level 60. We have the option to research a bunch of these items down here. We can make Moon Glow ink if we so choose. And the way that we make Moon Glow ink is using alabaster pigment, which we get from milling our friends. How do we mill? Great question. Classic milling. Boom. We'll just mill all these. Get some alabaster pigments. Nice and quick here. And then researching Moonglow ink has allowed us to create some of these glyphs. Glyph of inspired hymns, glyphs of stars, yada yada yada. Glyph of stars sells pretty shitty, if you're asking me. but we do need to learn new crafts. So, all right, let's see what we got here. We also have Peace Bloom, and I think it's worth salvaging all of these just to get all the dyes that we might need. And then if you had to ask me what we'll craft, I say we just craft a few of all of these, post them on the auction house. It is technically a loss, but we want Glyph of Stars for our friend, Iridal Ren. And what we need for that is some light parchment and some moon glow ink. Moon glow ink should be right here. Craft all these. Get our classic inscription up. We might even hit 70. There's ink and quill level 1. Tons of crafts, tons of levels. Moonglow ink is actually selling for a gain, which is very interesting. I wonder if that is because people are just buying the ink to craft the things. They're not going out and buying the herbs. So we could sell some of this ink. We really only need Glyph of Stars, to be honest. So we can craft the Glyph of Stars and then go from there. And we're getting close to the respawn times here, so I'm going to finish these inks, and then I'm going to log back over. See our crafter here just putting it together, shuffling those hands. You never know what you're going to find to make money on. And ultimately, right now, we're not really in the money-making stage, but we are in the killing these rare spawns one more time for tonight to hopefully get an opportunity to get this drop. Because that's what we're here for at the end of the day. Getting these drops, completing these zones. The crafting professions will come with time. Alright. Iridolran, here we go. World's slowest loading screen. There it is. Let's do it. We know that the Urasan is going to respawn first, assuming we're back in the same seed. Which we may not be, to be honest. That may just screw everything, but... Okay, he's definitely not here yet. But no one's been here. He's close to his respawn time. Because we saw him about 35 minutes when he died. And that was about 50 minutes ago. So we're about 10 minutes out, probably, from knowing if he spawned or not. Let's do this. Let's put down the cooking fire. Look at that thing. Let's craft these bad boys. I love this new cooking fire, guys. Look at this thing. It gives us 1 versatility. Really, that's min-maxing gameplay right there. 95. Now, what is the Herbalism Journal? What does that do? Nothing. Oh. There's so many items associated here. Specializations. I think I broke everything. I think I pissed off my add-on. Okay, that's fine. There we go. No recipes. I don't need TSM task list to tell me anything. But just look at this campfire with the little like tongs and the what do you call this thing? A pan? How cool. I'm really appreciating these little improvements on the visual side of things. I mean the night elves look good besides the fact that I wear this stupid helmet. I got to do some cool customizations with like the tattoo, very moon coated. I mean it matches my cat, right? Like I think that's cool. That's a cool experience. That not a lot of or that I don't remember really having access to before. So yes, I'm clicking. I'm just kind of chilling here, petting the dog, as I'm waiting for these respawns. No. No reason to cry. We are so close, guys. I just want one more kill tonight. I know this is the most boring time ever in the entire world. I'm really just hoping for it. Hoping for something fun. Something that we enjoy. Some kind of excitement. The Savage Fronds were a big win tonight, in my opinion. But we just unfortunately are where we are. As a result of, Wait, does the cat have a new dance? No, same dance. I mean, he kind of just flows a little bit better. Like, his head and his paw do not match. I thought I remember him kind of like bobbing back and forth with the head and the paw in sync. This is a little bit more demented looking. What about the bear? Is it the same dance? Yep, it's the same dance. Okay. Also, my bear form is not as purple as my cat form. Okay. And then my bird. Does my bird form dance? My bird form does not appear to dance, guys. He just appears to be burden, which is not as cool as cat. Cat is really the best. I just don't know how you don't like cat form. It's just so fun. Alright, let's take a look at some of these talents while we're sitting here. Survival Instincts, we're familiar with that. It's a classic spell. Rip. We need to get Primal Wrath. Because we want AoE damage. Berserk, we're familiar with. Is there... Oh, Incarnation? Okay, Incarnation's right here, but it's Incarnation or Convoke. Wow. I think Incarnation would be way more fun. Prowl, so you basically get a Vanish. Convoke gets buffed pretty heavy, though. Frantic Frenzy, unleash a Frantic Frenzy, flickering to 5. So basically, it's Killing Spree. Chomp. 3 times normal damage on Chomp? Interesting. That is a very strange spell. Lunar Inspirations is a key to our farming ability here. We're very far off from Lunar Inspirations. Rip and Tear? Interesting. Rip and Tear definitely do more damage. What's this? Tiger's Tenacity? Okay. There's definitely a lot to unpack here. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like, just off the rip, I'm not really, like, seeing, like, how it all plays together. Like, to understand what a rotation might look like. That's not really, I mean, that's not really our goal, but just kind of curious to see what spells and abilities they have. I haven't seen or looked at, really, these talent trees. I do think it's kind of cool that, as a druid, you get to kind of, like, start in one of the 4 spots and kind of, like, engage with this in different ways. Like, Sunfire's here. That's cool if that's your thing. Like Cyclones down here, Stampeding Roar, Heart of the Wild, Innervate. You can see they kind of interesting. So fluid form will automatically transform you when you use the spells associated with those forms. That's a really cool play. That's a really cool play dynamic, in my opinion. So Thrigril should be up soon, and so should Urusan. I think there's a little bit of delay between the cat swipe and the... I'm a little bit worried about this respawn. I'm worried about this respawn. I don't want to miss it again. I really messed up last time when I did that. So. There's a cat. Hello, fellow cat. Boulderona. Welcome. I believe there's a way to customize your cat form, which is not something that I've had the pleasure of doing yet. That would be at the hair cutter. The barbershop, that's what they call it. That would be at the barbershop in Stormwind. I don't think there is a barbershop in Darnassus. Blizzard really like abandoned Darnassus and Silvermoon, although they are redoing Silvermoon. Undercity's gone now. I mean, just like... It's just basically Stormwind. I mean, even like the big... I noticed today, the big capital city in... what's that place called? You know what I'm talking about. Dornegal? Whatever the new zone where the Earthen are from. The capital city there. That place only has one portal to a capital city. It's Stormwind. You don't get to go Stormwind Ironforge, Darnassus, Exodar. You don't get any of that. You get old reliable Stormwind or nada. Nothing. So. Oh! There's a horde here. Why are you here? Are you farming? Certainly not for my rare. Not at that level. You'll one-tap it, and then I will fucking lose. I don't want to lose. I think that is a visual bug. It says I am out of range when I am not. You can see the red text showing up down there. He's got to be spawning soon, guys. I'm so worried about Thrigril too, but I want... There he is. I knew it was coming. So we'll delay a little. If there's anyone else around here that's been waiting for this guy, they're more than welcome to join the Kill Club. But I don't see anyone else. Nothing. Alright. Last chance. We're going for Thrigril here. You are not the father. I don't know why we're talking about Mori here. This is not a time for Mori. This is a time for Thrigril to drop his pants. I bet you this bastard just killed him. Damn it! Ah. We've got competition in the farm, boys. Okay. Well. The only thing that I want to do, because we do have about 5 minutes left on stream here. The only other thing that I want to potentially test is the war mode switch. Now, the question is, you must be in Stormwind to enlist. That's the thing I don't like about it. I must be in Stormwind City to enlist? Why? Why do I have to be in Stormwind to enlist? Why can't I be anywhere? But, what is one of the advantages of being in this zone? In its current form versus its former form. Before, we would have to spend a long time trying to get from one place to the other. But now, do you want to know something cool? What's this? Stormwind City. So now, we're going to go into war mode. We're going to come back, and we're going to check for one more respawn on these rares. We're just going to phase this into a different area completely. We're not going to have any competition, and hopefully we can get increased drops. Fuck! This is not what I wanted. Damn it, guys. War mode is enabled now. The downside is we got to make sure that we can even get back in the Darnassus portal because that portal disappears. Come on, baby. Shut up. See? It's gone. So, what's the solution that we found for this problem? We have to go up to our girl Chromie, and we have to select Cataclysm as our dungeon, or as our zone, or whatever. It's just crazy that I could be on Darnassus, and it wouldn't auto-put me in that, but that's not how this works. We talked to the lady on the Hourglass. I want to select the timeline. I pick the Cataclysm. Boom. Here we are. I don't want to do this.
They come from different walks of life.
We come down here because, again, that's the kind of man Jesse James was. We walk right up to the portal. Boom, back to Darnassus. This is gonna give you motion sickness, guys. This is the retail WoW experience that you either have to learn to embrace or learn to hate. That's just how it's gonna go. There are portals to everywhere. If you want to min-max, if you want to do whatever, you're skipping, jumping, bouncing around. Now, do I enjoy this? No. That's why I haven't been doing it. However, we have 3 minutes left in the stream, and I want to do something fun and interesting for you guys to close it off, and hopefully end on a positive note, which would be the dropping of our pants. We want the pants to drop, we want the machete to drop, and the way to do that, if we want to increase spawn rates by any stretch of the imagination, this is the way to do it. Now, am I going to do this every time? Is this going to be my go-to move every single time? Absolutely not. However, no one's killed anything in here, and there's the enemy right there. So, it is worth noting that this has its perks, and we should take advantage of them as a result. So we gotta kite this around. Kite it around, kite it around, kite it around. We'll go back into bear form. Do this. Actually, we should probably do this. It's a good heal. Do this. Now we go into this. We go into this. We go into this. We go into that. Then we do this. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, I lived. Holy shit. Man, now I'm dead. First death on this character, by the way. We ruined it. Alright. But what I was trying to show you is that no one is in war mode. And there is utility in us leveraging this. Now, do I want to bounce back and forth all the time and do that toxic thing? Not necessarily. But if we're going to talk about rare spawns and having control of their rates, this is an opportunity for us to do that. You saw that there is no one that had killed any of those mobs in there. We did have our first death today, unfortunately, as a result of my cockiness. I did not realize, honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I didn't realize that there could even be this many mobs in this zone. I mean, look how many there are. It's because no one's here. This is what the game was designed to look like. Alright, let's get back here. Let's get the drop. Oh my god, there's a chest. Maybe we'll get something fun from it. We'll get Thrill killed, and then we're going to go kill our other friend, and then we'll call it a day. And that'll be fun. Okay. Please. Please do it to us. Nope. We got tricked. Okay, but there's a sturdy treasure chest here. Simple gloves. I don't think we have these gloves. We don't. So let's equip them. Okay, now we're going to stealth. We're going to sprint out of here. We have no need for any of these mobs. And we're going to go check on our friend Urisan. So, just to circle back. Why is it like this? What have I done? War mode. It's a specific mode added to the game. I believe in Warlords of Draenor. My memory serves me correctly. In Warlords of Draenor, they add war mode to separate people from each other. Look at Urisan's up. So PvP realms aren't really a thing anymore. And people can play on whatever server they want. They don't have to deal with PvP. Alright. I'm going to explain this and then I'm going to loot this. War mode puts you in a separate instance of the world from everyone else. Only people that are in war mode can see each other, and therefore, in a starter zone like this, new players have not had access to even go to Stormwind yet to change into war mode, which means that no one is here. Look at all these herb nodes. No one is touching this content, and therefore, we can get our pants! Therefore, we can get our pants. Holy shit. The pants have dropped. And we are going to put them on. We are going to put the pants on. This is why we do what we do, guys. Holy, what a rush. Okay, nine kills on Urasan. 9 fucking kills. We got the pants. Holy moly. So what has just happened? We've dropped our pants. This might be the luck. This might be the good luck. War mode might be the good luck. Let's take a look here. Okay. So to summarize today, we've hit the 3-hour mark. I'm kind of trying to keep it around that time frame for these. I think it's a good length of time. We came into today 90 or 72% roughly. Understanding that the deer is not accurate, understanding that the holidays are irrelevant, investigating and determining that the Krasarang Wilds campaign is 23rd quest in to that quest chain and not relevant to us today. But knowing that regardless of these BS remote zones, regardless of the fact that we have Sagefish Delight in our bags currently, somewhere in here, right here, Sagefish Delight, that the key items we needed to complete was the fronds. We had the sprouting fronds quest that we had bugged out on accident, not knowing, not paying attention, and that we might have to do some tomfoolery to get there. We didn't. We walked by the vendor, the quest giver, and someone had turned in the quest, spawning the fronds, and we were able to access the fronds, turn them in, and complete the quest. We are now 100% completed on quests in this zone, which is absolutely awesome. The next thing we knew we needed to do was get the keen machete from Thurgil, the imp, and get the gnarl pine leggings from Urasan, the furbolg. Allegedly a 1.3% drop chance, according to Wowhead. And after losing the spawn of Thurgil to a level 80 horde running around the area, we decided, with about 5 minutes left in the stream, to do the unthinkable. Switch to war mode, be a little sweaty, fly out here on our flying form, and kill them one more time. Both rares one more time. And in that last drop on Urasan, we got the gnarl pine leggings. So to equip them and hear that sweet, sweet sound one more time before calling it a close on this adventure, here we go. Those are the ugliest pants I've ever seen. Thank you for joining me today. And have a great, great night.